Season number 5 in Major League Soccer for the Portland Timbers Football Club is less than a fortnight away. And with the impressive way that they brought 2014 to a close, it can't come soon enough. And it's not far away now. Tonight, in the heart of the Rose City, the Timbers make their 2015 Providence Park debut in a 4-team tournament called the Simple Invitational. And the opponent for the home side tonight, why not make it a Cascadia rival? Here come Vancouver Whitecaps FC. I've been waiting for about 3 months to say this. Welcome back to 1844 Southwest Morrison. I'm Keith Blyer, along with my broadcast partner, Ross Smith. That was a long off-season for you, wasn't it, partner?
Oh, it certainly was. And you look out on the pitch tonight, and how beautiful is this site for us to look down on Providence Park. But 3.5 months, it felt a lifetime. But you know, Keith, I think MLS did a tremendous job at keeping things ticking over. You look at what we had to look at for the off-season. Dispersal draft, you have the trade window open December 8th. Expansion draft, the MLS re-entry, you had the combine, and then of course all the rumors going on. Who's signing, where are players going, and so the interest was there. And I know for myself, I was always ear to the floor, to the grindstone, to find out what was next, what was happening, and the excitement. I tell you what, it's just continuing to build. For me, it's the most exciting off-season MLS that I've experienced.
So what you're saying is, when you were staring down at your phone every time I looked at you, you were actually doing your homework. there was news every day in Major League Soccer during the off-season. You can see that we're going to have a very nice crowd for this preseason event between the Timbers and the Whitecaps. Can Ross, before we take a short break and await the kickoff, can the Timbers pick up where they left off? And one loss in their last 9 matches, a 4-match unbeaten streak, that impressive performance in Dallas, but then the obvious layoff. Is it possible to bring that momentum into this year?
Well, you look at all the players coming into MLS, and I think the Timbers, they've strengthened through consistency. The players tonight, starting 11, 9 of them are familiar faces, and the 2 that they've brought in for the starting 11 tonight, I think they've added to the strength of the Timbers lineup. Kouarsi, goalkeeper, comes with a nice resume himself, but I think one of the top signings in MLS this offseason, Nat Borchers, coming in to pair up with Liam Ridgewell, 2 leaders, 2 proven center halves, where it was Timbers. It's no surprise, it was no mystery. That's where they struggled last year, the defensive duties. And so you look at the starting 11 tonight, you go on that match from Dallas, I think the Timbers have only strengthened. A couple big names, but more so through the consistency of the names.
We will cover the 22 that will start this match in moments. And yes, it is A team versus A team, if you will. Crowd making their way to their seats, although some will spend the entire evening standing up, those in the Timbers Army. It's a brisk night, about 50 degrees. The wind has picked up, and we're not going to kick this thing off until about 5:15. So we will leave you momentarily here on Timbers.com. Hello, nice to see you all. Thanks for coming back to a new season of Timbers Soccer. We'll be back with the national anthems in a few minutes.
tonight's colors. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as we welcome Carrie Cunningham, who will sing "O Canada," followed by the Star Spangled Banner.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Don't let the bright sunshine fool you. There is a chill in the air tonight, and the wind is nipping at your nose, but that sight on the north end of Providence Park will undoubtedly warm your heart. The Scarves and their owners are back. The Army is in place. We are getting set for a simple invitational preseason tournament between the Portland Timbers and the Vancouver Whitecaps, and a lot of long hugs and some fun moments between Portland's players and Pa Moduka, a former Timber who will start tonight. And let's get right to the starting 11. There's a good look at the men who will kick things off for the Timbers in a 4-2-3-1. Adam Kowarski is the new goalkeeper for the Timbers. The back four in front of him, Viafania. Nat Borchers, the new man, sticking in nicely, however, with that beard. Liam Ridgewell and Alvis Powell. The two holding midfielders are Zemansky and Diego Chara. Out wide on the left, Rodney Wallace. On the right, it is Darlington Nagbe. Gaston Fernandez in that hole behind the forward as the number 10, and Fernando Adi is the target up top. The set up for the Vancouver Whitecaps in this one is a 4-5-1 on paper, and a lot of familiar names. David Osted is the goalkeeper in that hot pink kit. Jordan Harvey, Paka, Kendall Waston, the huge Costa Rican, and Steven Beitajor are the back four. The holding midfielders are Matthias Laba and the Canadian-born Russell Tybert. Kakuta Mane is out wide as one winger, Mauro Rosales as the other. Pedro Morales will be pulling the strings as the playmaker for Vancouver as they finish posing for their pre-match picture. The new man for Vancouver, signed recently, is the Uruguayan Octavio Rivero. So those are the 22 about ready to kick off here. I'm Keith Plyer along with Ross Smith. And Ross, which players are you looking at most closely tonight?
Well, I don't know if it's so much the players, but relationships. Liam Ridgewell, Nat Borchers, I'm looking to see how that pairing starts off with this match. As well, too, for Vancouver, I'm looking at Morales and Rivero, two great pedigree players, looking to see how they link up on the attacking side of it. But then, going across the teams, Addy against Waston. Two big bodies who will love to go up against one another. Waston, we saw just how strong he was for Vancouver when Portland played against him. I'm looking to see Addy's battle against him tonight.
Timbers in the green and white, Vancouver in the all navy blue. There is the whistle, and we are underway. 3 matches over 7 days, and then we're playing for points, people. Caleb Porter called tonight's fixture with Vancouver a true test, and this is a test that they have passed with flying colors in recent meetings. Early whistle here at midfield. Portland, in the last 2 meetings of last year with Vancouver, a pair of comprehensive 3-0 defeats. Caleb Porter, coach of the Timbers, said earlier this week that Vancouver no doubt will try to put down a marker for 2015 and quickly erase those results from their minds. Here's the new man for the Timbers, Nat Borchers, spinning one over the top of Adi, headed wide by Waston. Adi beats Ka to the ball, and that's going to be a foul. We're going to restart that one from the carpet.
When he asked me the question, what players I'm looking for, all 22 players on the pitch, because you want to see just how sharp they are coming in to preseason, a couple weeks away from the start. But that is one player in particular that I think every single person in this stadium will be of interest. Pa Moduka. Him returning home just to see what his offseason has been like, and to see for him, is he obviously going to want to let the Timbers know what they're missing. So to see how he reacts coming back wearing a different strip tonight.
They get stuck in quickly. He did say, the game starts, I have no friends. And they're all certainly friendly with each other up until the whistle. But the business of soccer, Pa Moduka on the other side. Ball headed away there by Russell Tybert. Here's Diego Chara. Villafana wider to Wallace. Service. Ridgewell drops for Nagbe. Tried to find Fernandez.
You wanted to see Nagbe take that shot on. It was a good ball by Liam Ridgewell, who opted to stay up in the attack. He laid it off well for Nagbe, who he thought he could have hit it first time, but he was looking for the pass instead.
There's the first touch for the new goalkeeper for the Timbers, Adam Kawarsi, and one of the reasons, as Wallace with an audacious flick that doesn't quite come off, ends up at Ka. One of the reasons that Ricketts is now with Orlando City and Kawarsi is now the man between the posts for the Timbers is his ability on the ball with his feet.
If you just have a look at Kawarsi tonight, I think you'll find the keeper who likes the high line, who likes to get the ball at his feet. You can rotate the point of attack through him. He's comfortable on the ball, and he'll look to get on the ball as well too. So just look for him, how high push-ups to stay connected with his back four.
Spent 8 years playing in his native Norway. Adam Kawarsi, 27 years old. This is Tybert, still just 22. Drops the ball back through Ka. Long diagonal ball from Mane. He collects. Powell defends. Powell strong.
Great defending. Like you said, nice and strong. That's the difference with Alvis Powell. You notice when you see him this year. He's no longer the teenager. His body is growing into a young man, and he does look strong to go along with his pace we saw last season.
Good one-touch vision there from Fernandez. Powell a bit loose with that pass. Gets beyond Rivero, and this is Kawarsi. And who was the starting goalkeeper for Ghana against the U.S. in the 2014 FIFA World Cup. You'll recall the U.S. went on to win that one 2-1. Beitajor and now Mauro Rosales, the former Sounder. This is Matthias Laba. Harvey right in front of his coach Carl Robinson, who has come out to make a few points. Robbo, just like Caleb Porter, entering his 3rd season in charge. North of the border, down the line for Tybert, and Borchers will usher that one over the byline.
As the game starts to settle in, I think you'll see two teams playing a very similar system. A 4-2-3-1. We saw the Timbers, for the most part last season, settling into that. So with 2 defensive blocks, 3 joining in to link up with Addy. I think with Vancouver, it's listed as a 4-5-1. I think you'll see the same. The 2 holding center midfielders, Matthias Laba, Russell Tybert, they'll protect that back 4. Mauro Rosales, Kekuta Manneh, they'll have more license to get up and to join in with Morales and Rivero. But Morales seems to have that free role to go wherever he likes, to get his foot on the ball, to make things happen.
Wallace the header down. Laba battling for the ball with both Wallace and Adi. Waston leaves his feet. Villafaña wins the battle with Rosales, and then Fernandez is taken down by Laba. Second free kick here for the Timbers in the first 6 minutes of the match. Laba still down.
It's pre-season, but the players don't seem to recognize that early on. Waston going in hard against Rodney Wallace.
Carl Robinson, the coach of the Whitecaps, said prior to this friendly or pre-season match, if you will, that he doesn't care. Even a staff game would have feeling if Porter and his assistant coaches with some front office members played Robinson and some of their backroom staff. These are rivals.
Yeah, I think both managers would tell you, though, the first main objective on their list for tonight is for all players to come out unscathed, to make sure that they get their fitness in, they get the 90 minutes, they get the regular season atmosphere playing at Providence Park, but most importantly, they come out without any injuries or knocks.
Laba is on his feet now. That was Argentine versus Argentine there as Fernandez and Laba collided. Very important part of what Vancouver wants to do in 2015, the holding midfield duty for Laba in his 3rd season with Vancouver. All right, Fernandez poised to strike this restart. Cheeky little delivery out left to Villafaña. Wallace's header over the crossbar.
There's a good bit of invention from the Timbers. Fernandez, he did well to, I think, sell everybody on it, even us up here, thinking he was going to take the strike on. But you watch how Villafaña just coasts into space down the left side and whips a good ball in for Rodney Wallace. But credit to Beitajor, he did well to stay with Wallace and to affect the header.
Timbers might have a shout for a corner kick there. It looked like it went up the backside of Beitajor as well. Here's David Osted. Borchers the header, wearing the number 7 for the Timbers. After 7 seasons with Real Salt Lake.
One thing apparent at training this week, Keith, is how vocal Nat Borchers is and how that complements Liam Ridgewell. Liam Ridgewell coming in last season, you knew you were going to get that from him, but now you have that balance on both sides of the park. Well, Alvis Powell, young player, is getting constant instruction from Nat Borchers, and so there's a nice balance between the two.
Just as you're saying that, I'm looking down and they're both barking out orders and pointing in directions, and you got 2 alpha dogs as the center backs for the Timbers.
That was neat. Nat Borchers says, I'm going to have to learn to be quiet sometimes, let Liam take the leading role, and Liam respectively the other way. But Liam Ridgewell, you think the experience he's had, one of the top leagues in the world, But Nat Borchers, how much Liam Ridgewell can learn off him, and Nat Borchers knowing the strikers in the league, what strikers, the tendencies, and for him to share that information with Ridgewell coming in the matches.
This is actually their first competitive match together as Timbers. Ridgewell recently returned. He played 6 matches for Wigan Athletic in the championship, the second tier of the professional setup in England. That Wigan team in a relegation fight trying to stay in the championship. But you've got to think that Ridgewell is match fit, although the partnership is really important in what we see tonight, right?
Yeah. A couple weeks before the start of the season, plenty of time for guys who have been in the game, experienced players, to grow accustomed to one another and the system. And that's what Caleb Porter will have with the consistency of players and faces in the locker room this year, is that guys have bought into the system he plays. And so you're not starting from square one. You're starting, like you said, hopefully from Dallas, from the end of the season last year, and you're just picking up in the form the Timbers finished with.
Fernandez with some neat feet draws the foul. Timbers come out the other side. Ridgewell taking space. Rodney Wallace making that diagonal run from wide. Vancouver read that one nicely. And look at Kowarski coming out and heading the ball at the top of the arc. Pretty smart play there by Kekuta Mane to catch him off his line, but that's that high line, that high positioning that we're going to see out of Kowarski we really never saw from Ricketts.
Well, it's good awareness by Kowarski because he wasn't scrambling to get to the ball. He was already in position. He could see the way the play was developing, and it was a simple header from him. Just think it's a little bit scrappy early on, and you expect that with both teams playing in front of the crowd that they haven't perhaps played in front of in a while, and the energy levels are going to be so up that perhaps you lose a bit of quality, and you can see that early on. There's no real rhythm to the game, but wait for the players to get their second win. When things start to settle down, then hopefully the quality will come out.
This is Rivero, the new man for Vancouver. He's supposed to get the goals for the Whitecaps, to be quite honest. 23-year-old who most recently played in Chile. Uruguayan product. Tybert wide for Beitajor. He's throwing Vancouver. 12th minute now. Perhaps the best look. Rodney Wallace over the crossbar with the head on the Portland free kick a couple minutes ago. Mane and Harvey combining in the corner. Mane chooses to keep that one in. Might have had a corner kick. Instead, it's a Portland throw-in. Going to be a big year for number 2 in green. Alvis Powell, I believe. Still just 20 years old. We were both quite impressed by that brave performance in the regular season finale at FC Dallas. He was not at his best. Ended up staying on and playing nearly 90, but what a year of growth for Alvis Powell, the right back for Portland, 2014.
And there was a point where there were serious question marks about him. You think about the red card he took in the Columbus Crew match, and you thought, is this going to be him for the season? He was put out on loan, but then he got his chance in the CONCACAF match in Guyana, and he did well. And then from there, it was just strength after strength with Alvis Powell, and you can see his pace, but how he tactically, how he became more astute, he became more aware as the season progressed, and as you said, I think that's just going to help so much for his confidence coming in, knowing that he is looked at to be the main man from the start.
Yep, they sent Michael Harrington on to Colorado, did Portland. Powell named the up-and-coming player for the Timbers. Here he is, making it difficult for Mane. The last 2 years, Powell has been the up-and-comer. I think he is. I think he's up and come. I think he is now a fixture in this 11 for Portland. Borchers looking direct for Adi, but Ka was there. Rivero having a little trouble picking out a pass. Nagby fouls him from behind. This Vancouver team has had 4 preseason matches in build-up to this simple invitational. They've got a pair of wins. They beat the New England Revolution and then had no problem with University of Victoria, college side north of the border. They drew with the San Jose Earthquakes. They did lose to the Houston Dynamo. As for Portland, they've got a win and 2 draws. When they were down in Tucson for 2 weeks, they beat Kansas City in their opener 2-0. Drew with Houston 1-1. Scoreless draw against San Jose. Ben Szymanski. That voice you hear is Caleb Porter's. Some good cover defense helping out Jordan Harvey, but this will be a corner kick for the Timbers.
Well, it's interesting when you see the Timbers in possession where Valeri like to drop into that number 10 role. I think you see Gaston Fernandez push up further alongside Addy, so balls can be played into Addy, and Gaston Fernandez, he can get on the seconds. A good ball into the area. You can see Vancouver keeping things congested in the middle of the park, so Timbers trying to stretch them through balls into the Addy and working off the scraps.
Fernandez low, outswinger. Wallace header on, and Powell, I think he lost his footing there as he tried to hammer one home from the far post. Slipped a bit, and the ball sliced over the crossbar.
Good corner in, good flick on by Rodney Wallace, but look at Elvis Powell, completely unmarked at the back stick, and you can see it just gets under the ball far too much. The challenge thrown in desperately from a Vancouver defender may have thrown him off. You see perhaps the excitement being in the position where you no other bodies around initially perhaps got the better of him.
Gershon Kofi there warming up. Both teams with more than the normal regular season setup of 18 players. They each have 12 that are available for selection off the bench here tonight. No doubt a staccato opening. Stopping and starting here. Both teams trying to find some rhythm. Nagbe, great look for Powell. Oh my goodness. Nearly lashed one into the upper 90 with the left boot. How about the pass from Darlington?
It's drifted into a great position. Darlington Nagbe coming inside. And usually that allows things for the right back, for Elvis Powell to get on the outside, but Elvis Powell saw the opening, and got to give him credit for cutting in the pitch, and Nagbe to recognize the run, and good first touch by Powell as well too. Just couldn't keep it down on his unfavored left peg.
Now that Jamaican, he is bold in attack. He's got goals in him. Scored twice for the Timbers last year. Fernandez drops for Nagbe out on the left side now. Rodney Wallace. How nice is it to see Wallace from the get-go this year after missing the first half of the 2014 season. And you want to point to maybe one primary reason Portland struggled to get points in the first 8 matches last year. The absence of number 22 would be near or at the top of the list.
You look at the players who are starting tonight who weren't a consistent face in the Timbers at the start of the season last year. Villafaña, Liam Ridgewell, Elvis Powell, Addy, Rodney Wallace, and Szymanski.
Nagbe, another good look for Powell, a little too far out in front of the right back for the Timbers, and Osted is there to collect.
Well, Powell, he's starting to give a headache for Kekuta Mane and Jordan Harvey. Neither of them know who's to pick him up, whose responsibility that is, and Powell, last 2 times down the pitch, he's getting the better, getting in good positions.
Yeah, fairly central runs too. Normally you see those outside backs running up the white line, but he's been cutting inside, and Nagbe has spotted Powell. Both instances he loses out here to Jordan Harvey. Instead, forced to show his footwork under the pressure of Fernandez. Does so with a plum. Pa Moduka on the ball for Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Good look, spots Morales. Playmaker back out wide to Kekuta Mane. He's got pace and a trick in him. Instead, he'll leave it for Morales. Now back into Mane off Harvey. Ball poked away by Szymanski. Again by Szymanski.
He's done well there to track the runner with Mane running off him.
Over the top, good look. Beitajor is in an offside position. Flag up on the far side. The Simple Invitational is presented by the official online banking partner of the Portland Timbers. Simple offers friendly support, incredibly easy budgeting tools, and most of all, peace of mind for your money. Open your account today at simple.com/timbers. 20th minute. No goals in this one. We have yet to see a goal in this event. There was a game this afternoon. The other two teams, Chicago Fire and Bob Bradley's Stabæk from the Norwegian Tippeligaen. They played 90 minutes and ended up scoreless. It's a fairly even match, I thought, between the former U.S. men's national team coach Bob Bradley and his young Stabæk side, average age about 21. They had a lot of energy and held Chicago off. Frank Yallop in his first full year with the Fire.
Just having a look here. Look how high up Russell Tybert is playing. They're cutting off the access to Diego Chara and Ben Szymanski, so the Timbers aren't able to play through the two. And so they're resorting to that ball into Addy, and fans unhappy. Addy unhappy about the attention from Waston there. Thought it should have gone the other way.
Well, those are two big bodies colliding, huh? Kendall Waston and Fernando Addy. Waston scored the goal that kept the Timbers out of the playoffs at the end of last year. Portland finished so well, 4 matches without a loss, 3 of them victories. They got the job done down in Dallas, and then they had to wait. And Vancouver took a while, but finally hammered one in past Colorado up at BC Place, off the head of Waston on a corner kick, and Vancouver beat the Timbers into that 5th and final playoff spot by a single point. Good combo play between Borchers, Nagbe, and Szymanski, and that is clearly a foul and a caution for the former Timber, who no doubt has a word or two for the referee, Pablo Duca, in the book here in the 22nd minute.
There's a couple of heavy challenges from Ka so far in the early stages of the match. Gaston Fernandez with a bit of trickery getting himself away from the challenge, but Ka coming right through the back. I think warrants the yellow card. As we see again, Gaston Fernandez is first on the ball. Ka thought it was there to be one, but with the way Fernandez danced around the ball, Ka was coming through the back of him.
Legata's got the ball on a string tonight. His first touch has been impeccable. He's having a lot of joy with the ball. And can he help the Timbers open their Providence Park account with this service? Fernandez bends one in, looking for Ridgewell. Waston was there, and Rosales turns. Morales. Long diagonal ball by Laba, looking for Rivero. Borchers, the veteran, knocks the ball to touch because there is a Timber down, and Pablo Duca, his former teammate, is waving on the training staff. I think that all players are concerned here for Ben Szymanski.
He hasn't moved, Keith, as the play continued to go on, and you see Liam Ridgewell giving the signal to the bench to say he needs to come off.
Goes back to your comment 10 minutes ago that all that matters at the end of this evening are 22 healthy bodies. And the pall has fallen over Providence Park here.
And Szymanski he's laying down. He just tried to have a poke in at Morales when Morales had a loose touch. And Szymanski, as he's recovering his run, just tries to reach in, but right away, Keith, it's worrying when you see a player laid down and he hasn't moved and the hands on the head.
And you don't want to see any player leave a match due to injury, but when you consider the fact that Will Johnson is still recovering from his broken leg and Szymanski is the stand-in for Will Johnson. The depth of the Portland Timbers will be tested, if not over an extended amount of time, tonight for sure.
And you have to say how well Ben Zemanski was when Will Johnson was injured in Toronto. Ben Zemanski got his opportunity and he took it with both hands.
Well, the clear options would be Jack Jewsbury, Michael Nanchoff, both midfielders. Jewsbury more of a defensive midfielder, and Ben Zemanski will be coming off on a stretcher in the 25th minute. Paul Dukas with a nice moment there. For his former teammates. Darlington Nagbe concerned for his college mate Ben Zemanski, both out of Akron. And it will be Jack Jewsbury to come on for Zemanski. He does appear to be ready, so yes, he'll be on. Timbers won't have to play a man down. Jack Jewsbury, very popular man here in Portland, on for the injured Zemanski in the 26th minute. Well, with concern for a fallen teammate, Timbers press on here. Fancy Maradona-esque move by Fernando Adi draws the foul. Whitecaps are having trouble contending with the work on the ball by the Portland Timbers here. Switch to Villafana. Jewsbury's first touch in 2015 at Providence Park. Wallace and Villafana combine. Laba cuts it out. Rivero from Morales, and now Rosales. Rivero. Ridgewell. Nice ball win by the Timbers. Chara breaking out. Nagbe back to Chara. Tried the fancy back heel. Doesn't come off, but keeps the Timbers in possession. Nagbe and now Fernandez. Ka was always going to get that one at the penalty spot.
Just having a quick look down at the sidelines. Caleb Porter is not happy about the attention that some of his players are getting with a few challenges coming in late. The reminder that it is meant to be a preseason, and seeing a player just come off injured. It's concerned for Caleb Porter, having a word with the fourth official. But you see the Timbers, it's a reminder of last season, how quick they can break. As soon as they win a challenge, how quick they can get down on the front foot on the counter-attack. And Diego Chara, with Jack Jewsbury coming into the match, I think he'll have more license to bomb on, to get into the attack. With Jack Jewsbury, similar to Ben Zemanski, will be one to sit in front of that back four and protect.
Jewsbury steps in front of Rivero. Here come the Timbers, moving just too quickly for Vancouver. Electricity in their attack here tonight. Fernandez. Adi leaves for Wallace. Cross deflected up in the air. Beitajor head. And now Tybert on the dribble for the Whitecaps.
Well, Adi, he was looking for a ball a little bit quicker from Gaston, as Adi was just curving his run nicely along the defensive line and ended in the same spot as Wallace.
Morales could look to Mane. He gets around Powell with relative ease, pushing in beyond Borchers with that ball to the far post, out in front of Rivero. That elicited a groan from the Timbers army. Jewsbury, a player inserted into this match, 33 years old now, over 300 matches in Major League Soccer, and you wondered with the evolution of this Portland team. Oh, a chance inside the 18 for Rivero. Can't get it out from underneath his feet. Wallace, will he be called for the foul? Going in on Beitajor, yes. You can tell that by the reaction of the Timbers crowd. And a yellow card. So the first caution of the match for the Timbers. Wallace in the book, 30th minute.
It was a good bit of play. Positioning by Alvis Powell. Liam Ridgewell, just the ball slipping by him, and Alvis Powell staying connected to his back four, to his center backs, and making sure he was there once Ridgewell was beat to make the challenge. It's a dangerous position here against the Timbers for Vancouver. A player of the quality of Morales who can step on the ball and really whip in something dangerous for a Waston. As he said, the goal he scored against Colorado to put Vancouver in the playoffs.
Far post. Jewsbury tried to put something on it. May not have. Harvey runs it down in the corner. Kakuta Mane. Wide to Harvey. California with the left-footed service. Waston was the target. Falls out to Rivero. Wider to Rosales. Into the mixer. Pa! Moduka! Strong header. Goal. Vancouver up 1-0. Well, that's a moment for the 34-year-old. Right in front of that avid group of fans that used to root for him. Suppose they quietly absorb that goal by the center back.
The Timbers was backs to the wall defending for the last few minutes. Timbers just couldn't get their clearance out of their ends, and you see Pamuduka, he comes across the face of Borchers, whose attention was taken to Waston. And Pamuduka just drifting in behind Liam Ridgewell, and it's a great ball in that just beats the first man, Liam Ridgewell, at the first stick, and Ka getting great contact to power the ball in to put Vancouver Whitecaps 1-0 up.
Got himself right in between Ridgewell and Nat Borchers. Mauro Rosales with the assist on the service.
Well, that is Mauro Rosales. That is his bread and butter. As soon as he has half a yard, he can pick up his head, pick his pass. He's done it throughout his time in this league that we've seen, and the quality he has on the ball. And Carr getting into that area. Such a tough area for center backs where you have players drifting in between you.
Villafana from Wallace over the top of Adi. Here's Nagbe. Drop for Fernandez, or was it for Wallace? Might have been some confusion. Whitecaps potential counterattack. Ball served in just behind Rivero. That was Kendall Waston all the way up there for Vancouver. Yeah, you're right, Ross. I think the coaching staff for the Timbers a bit frustrated by the tactical fouls that are taking place in a preseason match. Nagbe. Chara and now Jewsbury. Wallace, left-footed, right in front of Adi. And Osted lets it go. More than a half an hour gone here at Providence Park. Keith Blyer and Ross Smith on Timbers.com. We'll be streaming all three of Portland's matches in this simple invitational for you over the next 7 days. On Wednesday, the Timbers will take on the Chicago Fire. That game will be at 7:30. Staubach and Vancouver, the other match. Timbers will close out their round robin appearances in this event by taking on Bob Bradley and Staubach, and that'll be on Saturday at 5 p.m. Morales again over the ball on the restart for Vancouver. Chilean floats one in, looking for Waston. He gets ahead on it, but not enough of a connection, and it bounces to Kawarsi.
Good shot by Kawarsi. Liam Ridgewell is waiting to see whether he's got to make the clearance, but he's obviously heard the voice of his keeper.
Dewsbury takes the ball off of Morales. Now the presence and the role of a versatile and selfless Jack Dewsbury may have gotten much more important for the Timbers, with Ben Szymanski leaving this match tonight, having been injured. Powell, I think he was trying to send that one across the face with the inside of the boot for Adi. Didn't quite get his hips around it, and it'll be a goal kick for Vancouver. Now the combination of the injury to Szymanski and the goal by Pa Moduka has quieted Providence Park.
We have to say, I think the Timbers have had the better of the ball in the first half, but Vancouver have made their opportunities count.
Yeah, Timbers have been disrupted by a series of Vancouver fouls. Vancouver playing mostly on the counter-attack here so far tonight. Whitecaps made a 7-hour bus journey on Friday, and actually, good touch there by Coach Porter, actually played a match last night. Mostly reserve players. They took on T2, the Timbers' new USL Pro side, and T2 actually won that match 2-1 here in a closed-door scrimmage at Providence Park. Great to see Brent Richards, the homegrown product who recently signed with T2, get an assist. That match did feature Vancouver players like Christian Kofi and Eric Hurtado, another Portland product. Here's Mane on the run, and that is always dangerous. Ridgewell, wonderful defending just inside the 18.
Well, he met him at the right area, didn't he? Liam Ridgewell, as soon as he was getting into his box, he stood his ground, stayed on the line to make the challenge. But you see the pace that Vancouver can break. A player like Kakuta Mane, who's a willing runner, wants to get his foot on the ball and just drive at that back four.
With Kofi and Maddox sitting on the bench tonight, they do have pace in the wide areas. Good ball in. Adi gets to it. Osted ushers it beyond that near post.
It's a good ball in. You have a big man, target man like Adi. You want to get those balls into the box, and Rodney Wallace, decent whip on the ball, and Adi showing his appreciation to Wallace.
Poor giveaway by Paka. Right to Chara. Fernandez. Chara the dummy. Rodney Wallace. Shot blocked by Beitajor.
What a
Timbers, yeah,
what a block that was by
Yep.
Beitajor, because he thought Rodney Wallace got it out of his feet, was going to find the net, at least work the keeper. He almost thought Diego Chara fell favorably to his right peg. He wanted to see him take it on, but still created half a chance for Wallace.
A creative little dummy there by Chara. Not known for his goals. He wants to set his teammates up. Did grab a couple against Seattle last year. That was quite a day for the number 21. Now the Timbers certainly deserving of a goal out of their performance here in the first half, but find themselves trailing 1-0. Pa Moduka's header in the 31st minute has Vancouver up.
That was a good run by Jack Dewsbury. You can see a nice little pocket there where there's no Vancouver Whitecaps, and he drifted in, just the ball from Powell. A little too heavy to find him.
Yeah. Silly moment there out of Wallace. I think he had already won the ball off of Beitashour and then shoved him with two hands. Beitashour gets up with a smile on his face. Beitashour, the Californian, born to Iranian parents. Therefore, his appearance for the Iran national team at the World Cup last year. Morales Rosales. And now the Timbers break out. Chara out in front for Adi. He opens up those legs, working on Cog. Good ball in, and Waston got something on it. The laces of his left foot. Wallace chips back across. Harvey, not taking any chances, gives Portland another corner kick.
Well, Adi makes a clever run to pull off the center backs, and Ka, in his mind, you could see him wanting to go in for the challenge, but with that booking, kept his feet, and Adi whips in a great ball that just too far ahead of a Timbers attacker to get a toe poke on.
Fernandez going near post, doesn't reach Ridgewell. Powell nestles the ball down out of the air, trying to go right back into Adi, but Laba disrupts that pass. Borchers gets in the way of Moro Rosales. Villafana begging for the ball out wide. He'll get it from Dewsbury. This is where those two players, Wallace and Villafana, can combine, but Tybert is a bit of a pest, and Vancouver breaks out.
That's what he's done all first half. He's getting in the faces of the Timbers. He's disrupted their play. He hasn't let them sit into a nice spell of possession.
Yeah, Tybert is still a young player at 22, trying to find his way. His best spot on the field, I think, under Robinson and for the Whitecaps. And he's played all over the place. Holding midfield might be where he belongs. There's another opportunity by Tybert to win the ball back for his team. One of many players on this Whitecaps roster that have come out of their development program, their academy and their U23s. Ka would certainly be the exception. 34 years old, he's played all over the world. He said when he signed with Vancouver, that's football, you switch teams. There is a long switched ball out to Rosales. Aimless cross, easy stuff for Ridgewell, but he doesn't clear all that well, and it's still a problem for Portland. Dewsbury square to Nagbe. 2.5 minutes left here in this first half. Powell has some space. Early ball, awkward header by Waston, but Osted could pick it up.
That's a nightmare for center backs where the ball's played in behind you and you know there's a play on the back stick. You have to deal with it.
You, as the former center back, hate those. Every time an early ball is sent in that with some whip on it, you have some flashbacks, don't you, Ross?
I do. I still have those every night, I think, Keith. But it was a good ball from Powell because he's picked his head up and he see Adi. He's pulled off both the center back and the right back of Vancouver back stick, and he's seen just that space in behind, in between the goalkeeper and the back four of Vancouver, to try and just guide it in there. But as you say, Waston, well, it wasn't the cleanest of clearances, but he figured it out.
So difficult to put something on that facing your own goal. Waston has not spent the entire match sitting right next to Ka. He's gotten wide a couple times, and even in the attack. Really important addition to this team in the middle of last year. Waston, the Costa Rican, came over from that Saprissa side in his home country. Vancouver, much like the Timbers, have a trio of center backs to choose from this season. They've got a young man by the name of Diego Rodriguez who's begging for time. Right now it does appear to be Ka and Waston. It's Morales, Harvey, Tybert. That one went in between Rivero and Kakutamane. 30 seconds plus stoppage time remaining here in this first half. It has been a difficult first half for the Timbers, to be sure, with the departure of Ben Zemansky, an injury that has this Timbers club concerned, no doubt, and the goal by their former defender Pa Moduka for Vancouver. Timbers have looked bright in attack. They have in many ways picked up right where they left off there. Very difficult team to contain, especially Darlington Nagbe, and Carl Robinson knows it. Quick handshake there between those two men. 2 minutes of added time. Laba retreats, picks that one out of the air. It was intended for Villafana from Dewsbury. Got a little bit slow in his decision there, and off of Adi. Carl Robinson gets his first touch of the match. These are four former players, obviously, and Porter and Robinson. Porter played at Indiana. As many of you already know, he was a draft pick in Major League Soccer by San Jose, but then dealt with injuries. Robinson, a sarcastic placement of the ball there. He thought where the throw-in was taken was fine. The Vancouver coach, he's got 52 caps for Wales. Spent a long time playing in the UK. Moments of strength by Alvis Powell in the corner on both Harvey and Mane. Throw in Vancouver here. Final seconds of the first half. And we won't even get the ball back into play. Vancouver leads 1-0 in the first match for both teams in the Simple Invitational preseason tournament here at Providence Park, ahead of the opener for the Timbers, which is on March 7th against Real Salt Lake. Ross, before we take a brief respite, your thoughts on what you saw here as the Timbers make their debut in Portland this year?
Well, for me, there wasn't much between the two teams. I thought Portland had the better of the ball. They couldn't really get into a rhythm, a style of play that Caleb Porter would be happy with. But you remember, it's preseason. It's finding your way. It's finding that fitness as well, your touch, and getting used to one another again. But like I said, I thought Portland had the better of the ball, but Vancouver, they took advantage of their chance, and they had a nice little spell there where the ball, they kept it alive, found the ball into Rosales, who had a nice whip in for Ka, making a near post run and finishing it off. So with the chances, the Timbers had more of them, but Vancouver taking advantage of theirs.
Yeah, I think Portland might be more concerned about the injury to Zemansky than the conceded goal here in preseason play. All right, we will continue with our coverage of the Simple Invitational here at Providence Park after a brief halftime break. So go ahead and get yourself a cup of tea, and we'll meet you back here just before the start of the second half.
which accelerate free-building practices by promoting environmentally progressive approaches that are practical, affordable, and accessible. KeyBank is the exclusive banking sponsor of the Portland Timbers, and home of the KeyBank National Free account. A checklist account with many payment options, no monthly fees, and no hassle, plus a $150 gift. Switch today. Want to explore more and spend less? Alaska Airlines makes it easy with great fares to places you really want to go. Bask in the warmth of Hawaii with flights to 4 Hawaiian Islands. To follow the Timbers on the road. Fly Alaska to Washington, D.C. and watch the Timbers take on D.C. United. Or maybe a quick trip down the coast to San Jose to shake out the earthquakes. No matter where you go, Alaska offers the most flights to the most places from Portland. Explore more, spend less. Visit AlaskaAir.com. All right, Rose City, here's a recap of the first half.
Awaiting the second half of the Portland Timbers and Vancouver Whitecaps FC. And these are highlights from the first half as Keith Blyer and Ross Smith rejoin you. An early look there by Rodney Wallace over the crossbar. Alvis Powell nearly dipped one into the upper 90. He has gotten himself forward many times. Here was another opportunity, pass from Nagbe just out in front of the young Jamaican, and then Ross the goal. We were kind of discussing the fact that that ball was pinging back and forth across the 18, and the Timbers were stretched.
Well, the Vancouver Whitecaps, they kept the ball alive, and it was a second, third phase. Ball found its way to Rosales, and Rodney Wallace, he couldn't affect the cross, and you have to say he's read it well. He's got himself in a good position between the center backs, and he's finished it with a powerful header.
There were a number of opportunities for the Timbers at the other end of the pitch. In fact, Vancouver had one shot. You saw it. It was off the head of Kaw. Portland ends the first half with 7 shots on goal, but nothing to show for it just yet. It's been a bit chippy and a bit ragged at times, no doubt. It being a preseason match between rivals. There are a total of 15 fouls there in the first half. 2 players go into the book, and they would be Rodney Wallace for the Timbers and Paul Moduka for Vancouver. Of course, there's the injury as well in the 25th minute to Ben Szymanski. He was taken off on a stretcher, and Jewsbury was brought on, and it's going to be an important point, I think, for Jewsbury and the Timbers if he needs to continue here for Portland in place of Diego Valeri. And a lot of the talk as you walk the concourse here at halftime, Ross, is can the Timbers catch a break in the injury department? When you talk about Will Johnson breaking his leg in Toronto about a month out from the end of the regular season, Valeri tearing his ACL in that finale in Dallas, and now first match in Portland in 2015, and we're concerned for Szymanski.
And Szymanski, I've been so impressed with him this week at training, just seeing how sharp, how confident, how much he's really found himself into the starting 11 groove. And you were looking forward to seeing how, with Will Johnson out, that comfort of knowing that you're the man in that position, it's your position to lose, how he would grow as a player. And it breaks your heart when a player finally gets his opportunity to see him go down that way, and we'll hold our breath that hopefully the reports back over the next couple of days are nothing too serious.
We will indeed. Szymanski only played 12 or 13 matches last year. It was a career low for him. Obviously the Timbers are stocked with midfield talent, but you know, one of those squad guys who can step in and do a job, and here he is with a chance to do a very important job for Portland to begin this year, filling in for Valeri, and he leaves here in this one this evening. Both teams are back out on the field. Whitecaps in their huddle, and you can see that Mauro Rosales seems to be doing most of the talking. Former Sounder. Doesn't look to be a change by either team at the half. Of course, Portland has been forced into making one substitution, and one of the things that Caleb Porter has talked a lot about as we build toward that opener on March 7th, Ross, is getting his team in that weekly cycle, trying to get his projected starters the right kind of minutes so they're not building as the season begins. They know the start of the year is so important.
Yeah, it's developing those relationships, connecting with the person beside you. We talked about Liam Ridgewell with Nat Borchers, Ridgewell with Villafania, talk about Rodney Wallace and Villafania. The relationships all over the pitch you want to become comfortable with come the start of the season. You have to say, Keith, from the first half, the Timbers, looking at it, with shots 7-1 Vancouver. It's just that final ball for the Timbers in that final third where they're just lacking that cutting edge, where Vancouver, they've taken advantage of their chances. So the dialogue, the halftime talk, you can see Caleb Porter, you know, wanting more of the same in terms of going forward, perhaps a little bit more fluid in possession in the attack, but that final third just to be a bit more decisive.
Morales chopped down here in the first minute of the second half to put the Timbers in that weekly cycle. You can bet that on Wednesday, when Portland faces Chicago, it will be a very different starting 11, and then most likely you'll see this group more or less, against Stabæk on Saturday. We mentioned the Timbers opener. Less than a fortnight away now. It'll be March 7th against Real Salt Lake. How about that? Nat Borchers' first regular season match for the Timbers, most likely against a team that he played nearly a decade for. That's again Saturday, March 7th at 7:30. And that will be followed by a match against the holders of the MLS Cup. Los Angeles Galaxy will come to town on Sunday, March 15th. Rivera wanted a call. Vancouver kept the ball. No whistle, and now Portland comes away, and Tybert throws a knee into the backside of Fernandez. I guess Gaston has mastered the art of drawing the foul. He's really good at getting his body in the right position and letting the referee know when the whistle should be blown. A little too quick of a restart there to the officials' liking. Ridgewell, frustrated, just drops to Jewsbury. Try to spin one down the line. Legato will get there. It's poked out by Waston. Adi draws a corner kick. This will be the third corner kick of the match for the Timbers, to Vancouver's none. And Fernandez has left a little bit to be desired in this department tonight. Having trouble beating that first man. He does this time. He goes all the way to the far post, perhaps too much there, over Ridgewell. Jewsbury the header. Adi tracking it down, throws his body into Ka. And Osted collects.
There's one player I'm looking to see a bit more of this second half is Adi. Right from the off. Second half, you see ball into him, good hold-up play, target man play, brings his teammates in, throw in there, he's willing to battle cap. That's what you want. You more that presence, that target man, where balls can go into him, they stick, and then he can get up the pitch.
Too much on that one from Rosales, intended for Rivero. Yeah, the Timbers have built this side to play in multiple ways. They want to play through the lines. They want to build out of the back. They've got the players in the midfield to do it. But the addition of Adi gave them that target that if they are facing pressure, they can go right over the top into the big man.
Well, you look at the line Vancouver are playing when the Timbers are in possession. It's a 4-1, 4-1 almost. So Russell Tybert, he's pushing on to disrupt the balls into Jack Jewsbury and Diego Chara. And so to get past that, the ball's into Adi. All of a sudden, you're getting the ball up the pitch. You got to get your players around it, so you break down that bank of four that is putting pressure in the Timbers midfield.
Elvis Powell goes down at the feet of Mane. Yeah, the tricky part for Adi is dealing with both Waston and Ka in that hold-up play. Tidy turn by Villafana. And wow, okay, I think I saw that more like Caleb Porter did. That is going to be a Vancouver throw-in, according to the referee. Rosales and Villafana collide. Laba goes to ground. Free kick for Vancouver. Rosales, the Argentine who has an assist in this match. He served the ball in for Ka's header. Had a brief stint with Chivas USA, the now defunct Chivas USA, between his time with the Sounders and joining Vancouver. Morales trying to get away with one there. Some gamesmanship, spinning that ball forward when the referee had his back to it. Drives one in. Good work by Adi to get his head to it. A blast from outside the 18 by Mane.
It's a good line by the Timbers off the free kick coming into the box. Just watching, they waited to the last second before they dropped, and where Addy's won the initial header, safe distance away from the Timbers goalkeeper.
Follow the Timbers with flights to over 40 cities. Alaska Airlines serves from Portland, including Boston, Dallas, and 4 LA area airports. Alaska Airlines, calling all explorers. Visit alaskaair.com. Tybert again getting out of that hole behind or in front of the back four. Vancouver back on the ball. Octavio Rivero, the man on the ball right now for Vancouver, is their big name addition, if you will, during the offseason. Been relatively quiet tonight. Tybert got underneath that one.
To say Vancouver Whitecaps, they haven't been able to break down the Timbers back four, break down the system, break down the team.
That's been one of the priorities for Portland in preseason and really since the middle of last year, is that organization and discipline in defense, to use Porter's phrase. They've got the right pieces back there, they believe now, and that goal that Koss scored is just the second goal in nearly 7 matches that the Timbers have allowed. Only 1 goal down there in Tucson, and they finished the regular season with 3 clean sheets. Ridgewell unhappy with the fact that Rivero is down and the whistle is blown. That would not have been called in the championship, I can tell you that. When Ridgewell rises for Wigan Athletic, that is play on.
Liam's his argument here is Rivero, he's at it as well too, that he's backing in, he's almost taking his eyes off the ball, and he's just looking to find where Ridgewell is and to disrupt him. So Liam's saying if you're better off keeping your whistle on the pocket, let us both go at it instead of blowing up for Vancouver.
Rivero, most recent club, O'Higgins FC. I can't tell you I know a lot about O'Higgins FC in Chile. Here's a look at it again.
We can see Rivero, he takes his eyes off the ball, and he's
just a bump, right?
Just a bump. It is a strong challenge by Liam Ridgewell, but that's what he's saying. Rivero's at it as well too, so the referee is best just to let it play on.
Timbers holding a high line well outside their 18. Mediocre ball at best there from Morales. Rivero wins that one off Chara. Rosales has time and space. Wallace finally gets back. Ball served in. Rivero beat Kawarsi to it, but could not redirect it enough.
It was a great ball by Rosales into a difficult area for Kawarsi, who's made the decision to come out, but he's got there late. You want to see, again, Rodney Wallace just closing down Rosales, not letting that cross come in or even giving him the time.
Great turn by Wallace. Beitajor, however, builds out nicely through Mane. Good defending by Vancouver. Adi had a full head of steam on the dribble. Wallace made a really tight turn. 10 minutes gone here in the second half. How about the feet of Alvis Powell beyond Tybert? Adi, the flag did go up on the far side. An acrobatic attempt, had it worked, would have been for naught. Offside on the number 9 for the Timbers. Well, we've spoken of the 25th minute injury to Ben Zemansky, who of course is filling in for Will Johnson. And just to update you on the status of the rehabilitation for those 2 important Timbers, Will Johnson and Diego Valeri, they have been building in their rehab. Will Johnson has been striking balls and trying to come back from that broken leg. He probably would be the first player back ahead of Valeri, but neither one of those players want to come back at even 90%. Want to be 100% before they return. It's a bit of an apology there from Jordan Harvey as he came in high on Nagbe.
And Borch is just saying to the referee, you've given Liam Ridgewell a yellow card. You've given him a booking for a similar challenge. How come Harvey isn't going in the books from his challenge on Nagbe?
Lauber reads that pass from Ridgewell. Combination play down this near side. Last touch intended for Villafaña. Only goal in the match, 31st minute. Pa Moduka, the new Whitecap and former Timber. A strong header from 6 yards out. Kowarski frozen. The new Portland goalkeeper really didn't have a chance. Moments after a free kick for Vancouver. Look at that pass by Morales into Mane, and he slices that one, I think, with the outside of the boot. It's a goal kick, Portland.
Well, what a ball that was to slice through the Timbers midfield straight into Mane, who was streaking down the left side, and that Borcher's giving a wave to Kowarski, the same, let me try and handle him 1v1. And I think just does enough to make sure Mane is forced to his left peg and is unable to get a shot on target.
Saw the substitution in the 59th minute now. Mauro Rosales is done for the evening, and the Portland product, Eric Hurtado, comes on for Vancouver. Hurtado actually played a little bit last night in that match against T2.
I was surprised to see him last night. Came down to watch that match, and Eric Hurtado playing up top for Vancouver yesterday, but thinking, oh, we may not see him tonight, but you see right away he looks lively, doesn't look affected by that match.
He also looks a bit trim. He has lost nearly 10 pounds since we last saw him. Former player for Portland Timbers legend John Bain, turning a shot there by Rivero over the top of the crossbar. About 20 people here at Providence Park tonight. Members of Hurtado's extended family. Here's Tybert. Mane in on Borcher's good block by the new Timbers defender. Game getting stretched a little bit at the moment, and Mane is finding some space inside of Powell. Nagbe nestles one in for Wallace. Lost control of the ball and lashes out a little bit, and Wallace better be careful. He is carrying a caution. Now wait a minute. He's off. The minute I saw that hand go into the pocket, thought Rodney's night might be done.
The ball goes into Rodney. As you see, a 50-50 challenge, and gets away from him. And for him, I think he'll know himself. If you're already on a booking, to go to ground at on that part of the pitch, when it's not desperate to win the challenge, he'll regret it himself getting the second booking.
Yeah, getting a look at that too, Ross. I'd have a hard time arguing against a cautionable offense. Frustrated by losing control of the ball. It has been a frustrating evening for the Timbers, and Wallace loses his head, and when you're carrying the caution, certainly risking your presence on the field when you leave both feet. So the Timbers now down a goal and down a man here in this preseason match against the Vancouver Whitecaps. I suppose you could look at it almost as a training ground exercise now for Portland. Can you get a result? Can you find a goal despite playing with just 10 men? There's another foul on the Timbers' Nagbe.
Could argue with it being a preseason, the referee should be realizing that and try not to spoil the game and to have a word with Rodney, giving him one last chance. But information into the referees, whether it's to game situation, as you would in regular season.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue against that decision to give Rodney a second yellow. I think we all saw that moment, but it's I think been a difficult night for the referee. I will tell you, I looked in 2 different places to get the name of the ref before this match. It was not provided on the official match sheet. Morales into space for Hurtado, and Kawarsi, we are learning, is not shy to come off his line. Good choice there by the Timbers goalkeeper. Here's Chara. Now Fernandez has some space. Unfortunately, there are 6 Whitecaps defenders back. Appeared to go off Adi's right arm. We play on. Trying to get around the corner on Beitajor, and right back for Vancouver is whistled for the foul. Timbers will be making a change, as will Vancouver. Looking forward to seeing this man play in person for the first time. It's Dairon Asprilla, the pacey winger from Alianza Petrolera in Colombia. And Gaston Fernandez is done for the evening. To use your phrase, Ross, Asprilla has looked lively in preseason for Portland.
Well, it comes with the promise of giving pace around the outside. One that can open up defenses, stretch them, get around the outside to get balls in.
22-year-old Colombian. Added in the offseason. Dewsbury is over this set piece. Most of the Timbers at the back stick. That's where Dewsbury goes. Headed away. Powell will loft one back in. Asprilla rises, but Waston too tall. Vancouver breaks out. Good look by Rivero inside to Tybert. Rivero from a difficult angle floats one over the crossbar. And here's the change for Vancouver. This is the young central defender for Vancouver, and he'll be replacing the goal scorer tonight, Pa Moduka. Diego Rodriguez.
He's done well tonight, Ka, in his return back to Providence Park. It's a player returning to your old team. That is a dream,
isn't it?
To score against your old teammates and to keep a clean sheet.
It's a classy round of applause from the Timbers supporters here tonight. For the former Portland man, Rodriguez, the 24-year-old out of Montevideo, Uruguay. Waston in late on Adi, and persistent infringement is the yellow card here. The referee pointing to 3 or 4 different spots on the field, the indication that he believes Waston has fouled one too many times. And that's actually going to be a point of emphasis for the referees in MLS this year. Persistent infringement.
Well, there's no need for Waston to come into the challenge. As the ball comes into Addy, he's looking to settle, to link up with Jack Dewsbury. He's coming off the front, but Waston just lashing out from the back.
Asprilla heads wide. Nagbe, chest down. Ridgewell's at the back stick and just can't quite bring it down off the right boot.
Well, the ball just sat nicely for Nagbe, who had his eyes set on the goal. And Ridgewell doing well to follow up, but couldn't quite keep up to the pace of the attempted shot by Nagbe.
How about that time slide tackle by Diego Chara?
Well, the Timbers are going to have to work that much harder behind the ball. Being down a man, you look at Asprilla coming on, he's going to drift into that wide area on the right.
Drives in diagonally there, and Osted nearly lost the ball on the edge of the 18. Most of his body was well outside the box, but the ball is all that matters. Some sloppy play here by Vancouver. Beitashour can't control it here on the near touchline. 68th minute now. Borchers played to the wrong side of Kawarsi, or at least the side that Kawarsi was not expecting. Had to dart back very quickly to get his foot on that ball. Ridgewell's clearance is blocked. There's a nice chip out by the Portland goalkeeper. Nagbe, square to Charo, goes flying by Rodriguez, but can't keep the ball on his foot. Rodriguez, another towering presence for Vancouver in the center of defense. He goes 6'3", 6'4". That's him sliding the ball down the line. Mane coming back from an offside position. Flag is up here. Carl Robinson is right on the assistant's shoulder. I think he saw it differently.
That's been Vancouver all match long.
It has. It really
as soon
has.
as the Timbers have got their foot on the ball, there's a Vancouver player putting pressure.
Asprilla. How about that? Get me on 2 Vancouver defenders inside the 18. Asprilla beats his teammate Chara to the ball that time. Good work on the ball by Rivero. Chips it over the top of Chara's foot. On for Hurtado. Can he bring it down? Yes, but he cannot find that far post. Bit wide.
What a great ball that was to find Hurtado, who's made a clever run to peel off the wrong side of Liam Ridgewell and to bring that ball down, and you could see his intention was to try and lift it over Kawarsi, who was caught relatively in no man's land, not expecting Hurtado to have such a good first touch.
Audi chooses the drop. Borchers square to Ridgewell. Ross, how do you feel the new center back pairing of Borchers and Ridgewell have done through most of this match? They obviously allow the goal by Caw there midway through the first half.
Yeah, apart from that, I think they've done well to stay connected. They haven't really been broken down. A couple times Mane got loose at the start of the second half, but put that down to the game starting to open up and the Timbers pressing for that equalizer. But overall, you look at the shape, the way they've kept that back four compact, a nice high line, the relationship with Kawarsi. I think they've done well in their first match together.
2 very decisive men as they play back there. I think their outside backs will know where they're supposed to be most of the time. Gisberry's called for the foul here on Pedro Morales. And here will be a change for the Timbers. This is a second half substitution that supporters of Portland are certainly used to. Maxi Urruti will be coming on for Fernando Ari. Urruti on to play the last 20 minutes or so of this match.
He's huffed and puffed tonight. Adi hasn't had a lot to do tonight, to deal with tonight.
Morales looking for Waston. He kind of mistimed his jump there. Portland comes out with Vancouver's defenders retreating in haste. Nagbe looking back at the referee. He thought he was fouled yet again. Book your upcoming flights on Alaska Airlines to select Timbers road games and receive a 10% discount. Visit timbers.com/flyalaska for all details. Timbers down a goal and down a man. A second yellow and a sending off for Rodney Wallace in the 61st minute.
See how the Timbers are settling into a 4-4-1 defensively, with missing a player, man down from the red card.
Hurtado trying to slither around Villafana and Jorge having none of it.
Well, that's a position Hurtado is going to have to vie for. With Rivero coming into the side now, and Carl Robinson obviously looking at him to be that number 9. Hurtado, perhaps last season, not as many goals as Robinson would have liked. Only 42 goals for the Whitecaps last season. So with the new number 9, that's perhaps a position on wide outside here. Hurtado, with his pace and his power, that he will be hoping to take hold come the start of the season.
Timbers making a case for the sending off of Kendall Waston there. He's carrying a yellow card. Went in high on Urruti. Borchers in for Urruti. Waston, the header away. Here's Asprilla. Combines with Urruti nicely. Ball pops away from the Colombian winger. Whitecaps back in possession. A lot of space out there now for Vancouver. They can pick a pass. Tybert having a nice match tonight, doing exactly that. Vancouver is going to make 3 substitutions here at the next stoppage. Maddox, Kofi, and Mesquita will all be coming on for Vancouver here in this preseason match. No substitution limits. And there were 12 active players on the bench. It'll be Laba, Rivero, and Pedro Morales coming off here for the Whitecaps. Maddox most likely will take the advanced position for Rivero. Mesquita on for Pedro Morales, and Gershon Kofi in for Laba in that holding midfield role. Quarter of an hour left. Keith Blyer and Ross Smith with you tonight. Online on Timbers.com as Villafana tried to slide one in for Urruti. Now Nagbe. Villafana was offside. Maddox, the lightning quick forward for Vancouver, who scored 39 goals in 2 years for Caleb Porter at the University of Akron. He's got 16 goals in his professional career. He's the target as they drive the ball forward here. Hurtado gets in the way, but collects it. There's Kofi. Gershon Kofi ended the year with an injury and has worked his way back. The other man, Nicholas Mosqueda, is another Uruguayan in his second year with Vancouver. Very different approaches to this match in terms of minutes and personnel. Robinson has obviously pretty much emptied his bench. Caleb Porter and his staff have chosen to make limited substitutions, much more along the lines of what you'd see, say, 2 weeks from now against Real Salt Lake.
It's about getting guys 90 minutes and getting them into the mentality of what it is to play the full match, but also physicality of it as well too, to see if the bodies can get through it.
Jewsbury bends one in. It's a good looking ball, perhaps a bit tall, and instead out quickly to Kekuta Mane. This is where Vancouver's pace can be very tricky. Hurtado, Tybert. The drop to Kofi. Asprilla showing strength and holding off Tybert to draw the goal kick. Now the Whitecaps will begin their regular season a week from Saturday against their Canadian rivals. They'll host Toronto FC at BC Place on March 7th, and they'll go on the road at Chicago and at one of the newcomers to Major League Soccer, Orlando City SC. Really intrigued to see how Orlando City SC and NYC FC fare in their first year in the league.
Well, some big names coming into both sides, and so it doesn't feel as though it carries the expansion name with the signings that they've made and the season tickets that they've sold as well too. I think fans will be expecting immediate success rather than letting them find their way into this new league for them.
Orlando City with Kaká, the Brazilian legend, and Breck Shea being converted to an outside back, it seems, at least with the national team. Another whistle. Borchers and Mosqueda are tussling. I know who looks the most imposing in that matchup. I know where I'd put my money. Mosqueda, however, not backing down. NYCFC, on the other hand, have David Villa, Spanish goal scorer. Mixed Discarud. Yellow card, Nat Borchers.
Quite sure what the ref's going for there. Whether the challenge or the reaction about Nat Borchers.
Yeah, it's preseason for everybody. I suppose I would put it that way. As Tybert bends one in. Kawarsi strong with two hands. And a foul on Diego Rodriguez of Vancouver. Maddox is also down. There's no doubt that the officials in tonight's match will watch this one back, as will the coaches, as will the broadcasters, to get themselves in shape for the regular season. About 9 minutes. remaining in this match. The only goal was Pa Moduka. Service from Mauro Rosales. Strong, powerful header into the roof of the net. At the half-hour mark. That was 6 minutes after the Timbers and Ben Szymanski suffered a troubling injury, taken off on a stretcher. Jewsbury, his replacement. Timbers have been playing for 20 minutes now, down a man. The red card to Rodney Wallace, second yellow. Here's Hurtado behind Mesquita. Mane too long on the ball. Mesquita wins it back for Vancouver off Jewsbury.
You can see how the Timbers missed that extra body now. The way Vancouver are able to maintain possession. The Timbers with time ticking away. Can they gamble a bit more, get further up the pitch? Hope to win the ball back and then catch Vancouver on the counter-attack.
See Carl Robinson down beneath us, motioning to his players to move the ball a little bit quicker than they are at the moment, because there is, as you mentioned, Ross, a lot of space. They can just move the Timbers around. Very difficult scenario in which to play. Chasing the match and also chasing shadows. Jewsbury's been very clean in place of Szymanski tonight.
Yep.
Always has been clean.
Coming into the match, he got up to the pace fairly quickly and he's done well to take care of the ball.
Yeah, I think his warm-up was all of about 90 seconds. No doubt be tracking what the Timbers can tell us about the injury to Ben Szymanski later this evening and over the next couple days. Mesquita foul by Jewsbury. Rodriguez dribbled into a cul-de-sac there, and Vancouver manages to keep the ball through their goalkeeper.
They're doing well to try and kill this game off, Vancouver.
Yep.
No real desperation for them to get up the park. They're just looking to knock the ball around, share it around, and drag the Timbers all over the pitch.
Bold attempt from distance by Mesquita. I'm not sure. He's arguing for a corner kick. Well, Vancouver scored with their only shot in the first half, Pa Moduka. So we really haven't seen a lot of what Kowarski can offer in terms of shot stopping. Interesting to see his additional performances here in this simple invitational. Unlikely that he will play on Wednesday. Probably back in goal Saturday against Stabæk.
It's been difficult this second half to see the Timbers system, to see how it'll look at full strength because they've had to adapt with the man down.
Direct ball from Ridgewell looking for Rudy. It falls to Asprilla. Osted feeling the sting in his hands because Asprilla lashed that one.
It was good ball in. You see Rudy disrupts Rodriguez and it falls nicely to Asprilla. Gets it out of his feet. And that ball was swerving. Ousted has done well just to keep that ball and parry it out for a corner kick.
Ridgewell thought he might get to it, steps back. Villafaña, left-footed service. Jewsbury, Borchers. His feet were a bit tangled. Another corner kick, Portland.
Well, the strike by Esprit has breathed excitement into the Timbers army, who want to see a goal, desperate to see a goal. Long off season for them.
Near post, Maddox is there with the head. Back out to Jewsbury. Nagbe, the chip. Beitajor heads away. Powell serves it in. That was Waston. Maddox climbing all over Darlington Nagbe. Two former Akron Zips. Hurtado barrels into Villafaña. Mosqueda is definitely going in the book, and I think there are a few players and coaches here on the Timbers bench who think that should have been a different color.
And rightfully so. We're talking about it's a preseason match. He's gone in hard against Diego Char. One player for the Timbers is already off. The second player for the Timbers has been given his marching orders.
Chara was the last man. Was using a crafty maneuver to get beyond Mosqueda. Mosqueda went for the tackle.
See the referee just having a word with the fourth official, and I don't think the linesman had much to do with that conversation.
It's been
get on the same page.
It's been a tricky night, Ross, for this group of officials. Chara is up, favoring his left leg. Caleb Porter letting the fourth official know, and that doesn't look any better on replay.
Well, he's got him. You just wondered, did he have a... No, he's going to the back pocket.
Liam Ridgewell has been sent off, and that must be for dissent. It looks as if even Vancouver's players are mystified by that decision.
Well, I can only think it's his reaction to the challenge put on Chara.
Well, this one has become a bit of a mess.
This one that we don't have the shot to go back and see, but that's your skipper.
I don't think we will get it. No, it's.
There was one. Just wonder if it's to do with him approaching the referee. Well, that's your skipper. He's asking the question. He's seen his player, his teammate, gone down injured, and there's a skipper going up just to find out. Fourth official must have seen something to consult with the referee, and no doubt in the referee's mind.
Rudy skyward. Boston lost his balance under the pressure of Asprilla, and Osted runs it down. Well, without rolling the tape back, as they say, a good 2 minutes, I can't tell you exactly what Ridgewell was sent off for. Timbers are down to 9 men. There will be 2 minutes. Mercifully, it is not more. I mean, the Timbers have just got to get out of here at this point. A preseason game that has been challenging in many different ways.
Well, that's just it, Keith, pre-season. But you've sensed the high temper since the first whistle of the referee.
Alvis Powell is complaining that Maddox did not keep the ball in bounds. He felt it rolled over the touchline. Maddox had to come back, and it was a tactical foul at that point by the outside back for Portland. An injury to Szymanski in the first half, a goal scored by a former Timber, and a pair of red cards. I guess you know, not that it will help Szymanski's case, but you can at least say none of this counts. None of this matters. The most important thing, I think, is the health of Szymanski and what the Timbers can take away from this one. Mane into the corner. Rudy expressing a bit of frustration with that moment by the flag.
It'll take a couple of days before you do let it sit in that the result doesn't matter, because as a player through training, anytime you step on the pitch, you're desperate to win. No, it doesn't count for anything. For the next couple of days, though, it's going to sit with the Portland Timbers players. Last preseason, Keith, you got the blood boiling, had a taste of it. It's not what we expected to see tonight, though, unfortunately.
And you can certainly hear how the Timbers fans feel about the proceedings here tonight. Cooler heads are definitely prevailing between the two coaching staffs, and that is nice to see. Nat Borchers with a word or two for the officials as the Timbers make their way off the pitch. Look at the look of complete bemusement between two friends and Darren Maddox and Darlington Nagbe. I mean, the soccer matters and the minutes matter, but it was a rather forgettable evening, Ross. A 1-0 victory for Vancouver. But I think it's fair to say the Timbers don't feel like they lost the match tonight or got beat by their play. It was just one event compounding another.
I think the takeaway, you look at the first half where both teams had even strength. The Timbers had the better of the ball, just couldn't find that final ball in the third to put them ahead, and it was Vancouver who capitalized. I think the frustrating part for the Timbers is that they were a man down for the majority of the second half, and they didn't play a system that they would have ideally liked to see in a rehearsal match, to see how players fit into certain positions when you're full strength. At this point in the preseason, you don't plan to play with a man down, and how you go into matches that way, and so it's something the Timbers, they wouldn't have prepared for.
Yeah, you took the minutes away from Rodney Wallace, I suppose, over the last half hour. Well, the Simple Invitational is presented by the official online banking partner of the Portland Timbers. Simple offers friendly support, incredibly easy budgeting tools, and most of all, peace of mind for your money. Open your account today at simple.com/Timbers. We will be back and do it again on Wednesday night when the Portland Timbers will take on the Chicago Fire in their second match of this preseason tournament. Until then, thanks for watching online tonight. We'll be right back at timbers.com in the middle of the week. For Ross Smith and the rest of our broadcast crew here at Providence Park, I'm Keith Blyer. Good night, and we'll see you in a few days.